So we did, I know I went fast for both classes and we didn't quite get to everything in the second class, the first class. So we're going to go back and look at what happens to the vertex, okay? So I still have Desmos pulled up. So you should be able to see that on your screen right now. So our original equation is this red line, solid red line, okay? And then our next function was it shifted it to the left 6, but it was plus 6 on the inside. And then it shifted it right 4, even though it says minus 4 on the inside. So we already filled this part in, and we said that this function shifts it graph 6 units to the left, okay, and this one here shifts the graph 4 units to the right. So the direction it was going is opposite of what it is in the equation or in the function. So when a number is inside the absolute value bars, the vertex shifts horizontally, which means that it goes left or right, okay? Okay, left if it left if it is plus on the inside, right if it's negative on the inside. Okay, then for the second part, which are these equations, we looked at these numbers right here. So in the first one, we were looking at these numbers. Okay, so when we look at the Desmos, sorry about that. Dang it, didn't mean to do that. When we look at the Desmos again, you see that the purple line shifts down 2 and the black line shifts up 6. Okay, so it moved it vertically. All right, so the -2 here made it go down, and the +6 right here made it go up. Okay, so it shifts the graph down 2 for the first one over here, and it shifts the graph up 6 on the second one. So if you notice, the way it goes up and down has to do with exactly what sign is in front of them. So when the number is outside the absolute value bars, which means to the right, then it shifts the graph vertically, which means it goes up or down. Okay. All right, then we did a number in front of the absolute value bars. Okay, so when there's a number, the number is 3, it is this dotted line right here, which means it made it skinnier than the original one. And then the blue dotted one, it made it wider than the original one. So the number that was 1/2 made it wider, and the number 3 made it skinnier. So for this equation, the 3 made it wider, and for this equation, that made it skinny. The 3 made it wider, that 1/2 made it skinnier. So we call this it compressed the graph, which made it skinnier. Okay, and it is called compression because you're compressing it, you're making it skinnier. All right, and then for the 1/2, it expanded the graph or made it wider. Okay, so when the number is multiplied by x in the absolute value, then If A, which is the number in front of the absolute value bars, is greater than 1, then it compresses the graph. If A is between 0 and 1, then it stretches the graph or makes it skinnier, okay? So this it makes it, we'll look at it, skinnier and wider, okay? Now the one we didn't do in first period that we did in second period was when there's a negative in front of it. So the -1, remember it's understood -1 in front of it. If you notice, it flips it over the x-axis, so it reflects it across the x-axis. And this one, it not only reflected across the x-axis, but it moved it down too. And we've already talked about the number on the outside being what moves it vertically. Okay? So, for this, remember, if you need to see it, there's an understood 1 right here. Okay? Just like there is 1 here. So this number right here is called A as well, right? Just like here is called A. And we can see that if it's negative, it opens down, okay? So this one, so when the negative sign outside the absolute value function, it flips the graph over the x-axis, okay? So it flips it horizontally. Okay. Alrighty. So that's what that was that part. So then we got to this next page and it has, actually I think there's a, I forgot to do the, yeah. Let's move this down. All right, let's do my equation is f of x is equal to a absolute value of x minus h plus b. Okay, now this number right here, let's undo that. So the a tells us two things. Go ahead and make that smaller. Okay, it tells us that it either opens up or down. If it opens up, which means A is greater than 0, meaning it's positive, or down, which means A is less than 0, which makes it negative. It also tells us if A is greater than 1, it stretches, and or if A is between 0 and 1, it stretches the graph. The other one compresses the graph. Okay? Kind of putting it back into terms that we've already seen. Okay, so that's what A tells us right there, okay? Now, H, I'll come over here. So H shifts left, right, and B shifts up, down, okay? And it's going to be the opposite of what you see in the thing. So that means if it is looks like minus a number in here, it's going to go to the left. If it's plus, it's going to go, if it's plus, it's going to go left. If it's negative, it goes right. But this one tells us exactly the way it is, okay? Just in case you need that, negative H equals right. Positive H equals left. Negative B equals down. Positive B equals up. Okay? So those are the things we're looking at. And then tomorrow we'll talk about the vertex. I mentioned that briefly during second period, but we'll talk about that more even. So those problems in your homework are the problems that you might not be able to do. So for number 3, we see that the whole entire thing is shifted down 1, 2, 3, 3 lines. Okay? Oh, I think I messed up and wrote this on the wrong page. I did, because I need to go back to number 2. So let's take, I'll just do it this way. Let me copy and paste this over to the other page, and I'll take it off of this page. Sorry about that. We'll come back to this in just a minute. So let's go back to here. So here's our equation. Here it is. All right, so that means I'm going to put this here so that you can see it. And we'll just bring the graphs down. Okay. Extend the page. We'll bring all this stuff down so we can see it. All right, there we go. Now we can see everything. All right, so I know there's the equation where it's got the A and the H and the B and the different colors. All right, so on number 1, you will notice that we shift it to the left 2 and up 1, 2, 3, 4. So we go up 4. Okay, so that means in my equation f of x, I can see that it opens up, so I know I have a positive A, right? It's skinnier than it would normally be, so it actually would have to be a fraction, like 1 over something maybe. And then in the parentheses, I'd have x, and since I'm moving to the left, it would be a plus 2, and since I'm going up, it would be plus 4. So I'm looking for a positive fraction with a plus 2 and a plus 4. So a positive fraction, so that would either be C or D. I'm sorry, it compresses it. So it would be a positive whole number. I'm so sorry about that. Miss Molly's tired. It's late. I'm ready to go home. But that's okay. I'm going to get this done. So it's a positive A, and the A is going to be greater than 1. So that's going to either be, so we can eliminate the ones with fractions. We can eliminate the negatives because we know that it opens. Actually, we don't eliminate the negatives, sorry. Since it opens down, we can eliminate the positives. So we eliminate E. So that comes down to A or B because it opens down. Okay. So this one has a whole number, well, not a whole number, but a number greater than 1. Whereas this one doesn't, as far as it's not a positive, it's a negative. That was where I made a mistake. It's negative A. Ooh, Miss Smiley's tired. Okay, so it's either -3 or -1. This one has my +2 and my +4, and this one does not, so it's not B, so that means A is graph 1. Okay? Now, graph 2, you go over to the left 1 and down 2. It opens up and it's skinny, so that means that A is greater than 1. Okay? So I'd have f of x is equal to a positive A, and then absolute value bars, and that should be absolute value bars here. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have, it's over to the left one, so I'm going to have x plus 1. And outside it's down 2, so it'll be -2. So on a positive A, that eliminates, we've already done A anyway, but that eliminates B. And I want it to be a whole number, so that eliminates my fractions. So, and this one's negative, so that eliminates this one. So there's only one with a positive A, and there's my 1, and there's my -2. So that means E is graph 2. Okay? All right, then, go back over here. I want to copy this so that we can see it for the next one. So right now we know that this one is graph 1. And this one is graph 2. Okay, so we know we can eliminate those. So we know those won't be ones of our answers. So now looks 3. All right, 3 goes straight down, so it doesn't go over any. So it's just going to be the absolute value of x. And it goes down 1, 2, 3. So it means it's going to be -3. It is wide. So that means A is a fraction. It's up. So A is positive. So A is greater than 0. Okay? So I want a positive, and I only want an x inside the absolute value symbol. So, of course, we can eliminate A and E. It could be C. It could be B. It could be D. It will not definitely be F because there's something else besides X inside there. But it is open, so it's greater than 0. So that means that it eliminates B because it has a negative in front of it. Okay? We said it's a fraction, so C has 1/5 and D has 1/2. So what's the difference? Is the part on the outside. This one has +1. And this one has -3, and that's the one we're looking for, so it's D and not C. So this one is graph 3. Okay? All right, moving on to 4. We shift the vertex over 2 to the right and up 1, 2, 3, up 3. So that means x -2, because I'm going to the right, plus 3 because I'm going up. It's wide. So that means A is between 0 and 1, making it a fraction. And it opens up, so A is greater than 0. Okay? So we're looking again for positives, and we have x -2 plus 3, so we can eliminate f because that has a negative. -2, I'm sorry, it is down. I said it opens up. Boy, I tell you, Miss Smiley is tired. So therefore, it opens down. So it is A is less than 0, so it's negative. So it would be, here's my -2 and there's my +3, so it would be F. So this is graph 4. Whew, Miss Miley needs to hurry up and go home. Okay? All right. 2 more. All right, so we know from the previous one. This one is graph 1. This one is graph 2. This one is graph 3. Oops, forgot to get out of it. And this one is graph 4, right? Okay, so that leads me to the first two. All right, both of them are negative, okay? Number 5, notice it doesn't go anywhere and it's turned down. So therefore, see it's right here at their thing, but it's going down. So that means A is less than 0, but it doesn't shift left or right any, so it'd have to be B because all I have is negative 1x, absolute value of x. So this would be graph 5. And then this one is up. Uh-oh. I did something wrong. No, that's right, up. So A is A is, greater than 0, so it's positive. So that checks that part. And it is wide. So that means it's between 0 and 1. That also has to do with the 1/5. It goes straight up 1, but it doesn't shift any back and forth. So I'd have the absolute value of x, then up means plus 1. And there's my x, and there's my plus 1. So it'd have to be C. So that's graph 6. Okay? So hopefully that helps as far as explaining those. And then tomorrow we'll pick up on how to determine the vertex. And we've already talked about A, so hopefully that'll help as far as going back and finishing your homework.